Welcome back to the channel. My name is Lee for Lee's Kitchen. Today we're going to make a delicious lime cheesecake that is just so easy to make. So welcome back to my kitchen. My name is Lee. We do a lot of from scratch cooking, and today we're going to make a keto lime cheesecake. And so the reason why we're doing a lime cheesecake is my limes are in season finally. They've been on the tree for a while, they need to be used, so I thought it'd be perfect for a keto lime cheesecake. And this is just so easy to make. I've made it a few times now, and I think it's just amazing. And it just uses so little ingredients as well, and we're making it completely from scratch. So I'm using a biscuit base from the website Sweeter's Honey, and I will post a link to that down below. It's a really easy recipe and I've used it so many times. It turns out really good all the time, but I'll post it down below, and so you can look at all the actual different changes and everything. You can do that too as well. So this is our ingredients. It's not many, and that's how I like it. So for a biscuit base, we're going to need 2/3 of a cup of coconut flour. I find the coconut flour does actually turn out really good as a biscuit base. We're going to need 1/3 of a cup of butter or coconut oil. I'm using butter today, and we're going to melt that. I'm also going to need 2 eggs for this, a pinch of salt, and to sweeten it up a little bit, I'm going to add maybe 2 tablespoons of a powdered erythritol to just sweeten it up just a little bit. And then for the filling, really easy, a tub of cream cheese, a cup of thickened cream, a bit of sweetener to sweeten it up a little bit, and then we've got the zest and the juice of our limes. So these are some of our fresh ones. I've got some other ones that I'm going to juice up as well. And that's it. And then all you're going to need is a cheesecake tin. I like the springform ones. Just makes life a lot easier when you're taking it apart and everything. And also I'm going to use some hand beaters as well, just to make life a lot easier. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to line our springform pan, and we're going to preheat our oven to 170 degrees Celsius. So then I'm just going to put some foil onto the bottom of this. So all I do is I've got our bottom here. I'm going to put the foil on top, and literally all I'm going to do is I'm just going to sit it in like that and turn it and just make sure that's in place. Nice and easy. And now we're going to put that aside. The next thing we do is I'm going to get our butter into the microwave and get that melted. All right, so now our butter has melted. I'm just going to put that aside, let that cool down a little bit. So I have 2/3 of a cup of coconut flour. I haven't tried to make this with any other flours, but this does turn out really good each time. And then I have a powdered sweetener. I'm going to add probably about 2 tablespoons of this. Doesn't need to be exact, like so. And I'm just going to stir the lumps out of this powdered sweetener. So to that I'm going to add 1/4 teaspoon of salt, like just a pinch of salt. And then we're going to add our 2 eggs. And I'm just going to start mixing that in. Coconut flour absorbs so much, so you'll be surprised how much liquid it actually absorbs. Now, I did probably microwave a little bit too much butter, but I have another recipe coming up, so that's not going to go to waste. But I will probably just leave a bit aside. Probably about that much. And you can see now, it's starting to thicken, and coconut flour does take a little while to actually absorb and everything. So what I'm going to do is, now that all that has combined, I'm just going to leave that like that for about a few minutes, and then it should be thickened enough so that we can press it into our cheesecake tin. All right, so you can see has really thickened now, and that's the thing with coconut flour. It absorbs so much. And you can see how yellow it is. That's just from the eggs and the butter as well. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pour this into our tin, and we're going to start pressing it out. And we should be able to get a nice thin layer of this in here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put just a little bit of oil on my fingers, and I should be able to push this in without it sticking too much to my hands. And now I'm just going to press all this out to one single layer. So now we've got this nice and flat now. I'm going to put this into the oven, and we're going to bake it for about 10 to 12 minutes, just until it's nice and golden. So I'm going to use my air fryer today. Just because this is nice and small. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to put it in there, and I'm going to check it at about 10 minutes. So while that's in the oven baking, we're going to quickly make the filling, and it is just so easy to make. Now, with the filling, I don't follow a recipe or anything. I've been making cheesecakes for quite a while now, and basically I just wing it. And it always turns out really good though, so I hope it turns out. So first we're going to start by whipping our cream. So I'm just using heavy whipping cream, or we call it thickened cream. And I'm going to do, this bottle was 600 mils, it was half a bottle. So 300 mils, just over maybe a cup and a quarter. Rinse it out with a bit of milk so we get all that goodness out. And now I'm going to beat this to stiff peaks, and then we'll get on with the rest of it. All right, so we've got that at nice peaks now. So I'm going to put that aside, and then we're going to grab another bowl. We're going to add our softened cream cheese. So I've just left this out of the fridge for a good hour. And to that, I'm going to add half a cup of a granular erythritol stevia blend. And what's good with the limes and everything is the stevia doesn't really get noticed in it because of the bitterness of the actual lime and everything. So it goes actually really good with it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this aside, and then we're going to zest our limes. And then I'm just going to add that to our bowl. And then we're going to do half a cup of lime juice. So I'm just going to use these limes because they're down to the actual flesh now. And we'll see what we get out of these. And if you don't have limes, you can definitely do this with lemons or another citrus as well. That's what goes so amazing with this recipe. You can change it as much as you want. If you've got key limes, that'd be even better. So the timer has just gone off on the oven here, so I'll put it in for 12 minutes. And I will say that looks pretty good. So you can see how it's just nice and golden. Not burnt or anything. So what we're going to do is we're going to put this aside, let it cool down completely before we actually put the filling in. And to our cream cheese, our erythritol stevia blend, and our rind, we're going to add our lemon juice, or lime juice, sorry. And we're just going to beat this until it's just nice and smooth. And then you can see that's nice and smooth now. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add our whipped cream. Now usually you just fold it in, but I've always just used the beaters and it turns out completely fine. All right, and I'm just going to beat this on low just until it's one consistent filling. And there we go, there's our wonderful filling. So what we're going to do is we're going to wait for that shell to actually cool down completely, and then we can fill it with this, put it in the fridge, and then we'll try that later. All right, so this is cooled down completely now, so now we can put our filling onto it. Doesn't that look amazing? And I haven't put any gelatin into this, and that's because the cream already has gelatin in it, and the actual cream cheese will actually set as well once it's chilled right down. So I don't really bother usually. Unless I'm using a lot of sugar, then I find I do need to use some gelatin. All right, so let's just get that all into one layer. And I think to finish it off, just some beautiful, freshly grated lime zest. All right, so now we're gonna get this into the fridge, let it cool down completely, and then we'll try it out later. All right, so this has been in the fridge for a few hours. So let's take it out of the mold and try it out. All right, so this is still a little bit soft. So if you really want it to set properly, what you can do is grab a tablespoon of gelatin, mix it in a little bit of water, and add it to your mixture, and it'll firm it up just perfectly. It's a little bit soft right now, but I'll just go around the edges with a knife, and let's see how we went. There we go. Doesn't that look amazing? All right, I'm gonna grab a small slice of this. All right, and there we go. I don't mind it's a little bit runny. That is fine, but as I said, add the gelatin if you want to. So let's give it a go. Firstly, that filling is just beautiful. It's zingy, it's got a little bit of sweetness. It's not overly sweet, which is, you know, a lot of cheesecakes are just too sweet for me. And that biscuit crumb actually turns out amazing every single time. It barely tastes like coconut, and it goes really good with this sort of lime cheesecake. So there we go, a delicious, easy, low carb lime cheesecake. It's just so easy to make, and it's also better for us as well. And I hope you will give this a go. So thanks for watching, and I hope to see you soon. Bye.